Okay, in our series, we're taking a look again at the key states in the north for the governorship election. And in the northwest, the battleground will be in Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna states. Our Rice correspondent, Omo Bazwaye, tells us more.
The northwest is arguably the most forceful of all the three regions in the north, and it will be the central stage for some of the toughest political battles, beginning with Kano State, where the sitting governor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, hopes to plant a successor from his All Progressive Congress APC, in the person of Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna, who is the incumbent deputy governor. But the APC candidate is bound to face a stiff opposition from the candidates of the New Nigerian People's Party, who will be riding high on the waves of a phenomenal Kwankwasia movement that won the state for the NNPP presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. PDP candidate Sadi Aminu Wali will not be a complete pushover either, but the main battle will be between NNPP and APC. In Katsina, the PDP and its candidate Senator Garba Yakubu Lado will be buoyed by his performance in the presidential election to uproot the APC and its candidate Uman Diku Rada, who is the former Director General of SMEDEM. Katsina is home to President Muhammadu Buhari, but the gale of defections from the APC in the build-up to the election may deliver huge blows on the party. Kaduna completes the three symbolic KKK states in the northwest. Here, Governor Nasir El-Rufai will want to restore his party's grip on the state in the last 8 years and save his face from the defeat suffered in the presidential election, where the PDP won the state and cleared majority of the senatorial and House of Representative seats. Analysts predict that Kaduna will set the stage for an epic battle between El-Rufai's preferred successor and APC candidate Senator Uba Sani and a re-energized PDP and its candidate in Issa Ashiru. But where the APC and PDP share votes of the Muslim population, there are subtle fears that the rising Labour Party and its candidate Jonathan Asake could make it with plenty of votes from the Christian-dominated areas of southern Kaduna and other minority areas of the states. Omo Bazwaye, Arise News.
Well, in the northeast, the battleground states will be in Adamawa, Taraba, and Bauchi. Omo Bazwaye also tells us why.
Central, the tempo of the governorship election would not be lesser in velocity as political gladiators slug it out to occupy the coveted positions. In Nasarawa State, incumbent governor and candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, Abdullahi Sule, faces an uphill task against former lawmaker and PDP candidate David Ombugadu. But a protracted crack in the walls of APC following a conflict of interest between the national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Adamu, and a former governor of the state, Maru Tanku Almakura, may have weakened the strength of the APC in Nasarawa State. The party's votes could be further depleted with the New Nigerian People's Party NNPP and the Social Democratic Party SDP also fielding Muslim candidates. The two may end up dividing votes for APC and handing over the much coveted prize to the PDP. In Benue State, the contest will pitch the candidate of APC, Reverend Father Hyacinth Aliyah, up against the PDP candidate Titus Uba and the rising sensation of Labour Party and its candidate Heman Hembe in the state. The APC surprisingly swept the state during the presidential elections, with the Labour Party coming second and PDP third, despite the influence of the incumbent governor Samuel Otom, who is of the PDP. The Labour Party and its candidate Patrick Dakum will be gunning for victory in Plateau State after its shocking win in the presidential election, but political observers say that it is less likely to happen this time around, as the church on the plateau was instrumental to Peter Obi's victory. The church, they say, may likely shift its support to PDP and its candidate Caleb Mutwang in the governorship race, leaving the serving governor Simon Lalong and his APC candidate Netawe Uwalda Goswe to struggle even harder for votes after a crushing defeat at the presidential polls. In Niger State, the focus will be on the APC governorship candidate Mohamed Umar Bagot, a serving federal lawmaker, as he squares it with the PDP Isha Liman Kantigi. The APC has remained dominant in the state and had a strong showing during the presidential elections 2 weeks ago as the PDP battles internal divisions. The APC hopes to retain its feet in the north-central state of Kwara through incumbent Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, who is seeking a second term. His main challenger is PDP Shuaib Yamen Abdullahi, but if the result of the presidential election and effort to resolve the internal wranglings in the party are not to be taken lightly, the party may retain its blue colors by remaining in the APC, despite pressures by the Bukola Saraki-led PDP family to upstage the Otoge political machine of Governor Abdul Razak. Omo Bazwai, Arise News.
Thanks so very much, Omo, for that great analysis and comparative analysis. But let's bring in the Labour Party governorship candidate now, Patrick Dakum. Hello, Patrick. Thanks very much for joining us. Your state is one of the battle states in the North Central, Plateau State, because of the political history. One time PDP and today APC and of course Labour making a superb showing there. Do you think come Saturday your party will be, flying on that crest?
Well, thank you very much, Christian. And let me also put a little background to it that while, yes, Plateau State, using the obedient movement, was able to make a very, very good showing and winning and surprising political pundits. From the introduction I had, one of the driving forces you did say was the church on the Plateau. And I think that a lot of the people that really stood for the obedient movement was not only the church, but a lot of young people who wanted change. And we have been working with them for quite a number of years. But apart from that, if the church is the driving force, then I think I stand a better chance, because in terms of being rooted on the church, with the church on the Plateau, if you go to the biggest denomination here, I will be more rooted than every other candidate because of what I have done and what I still do alongside with the church. So the Labour Party, I believe, on the Plateau has come similar to what happened in 2015 when Plateau State people wanted, to send a message to the political class that indeed, if the citizens of the state decide they want a change, they don't care which direction in terms of platform, but when they find a good candidate that will represent that Plateau interest and Plateau agenda, as we call it indirectly, they go for him. So for us here, the Labour Party has been there. I have been around the corner. I've been in the political limelight. I've been a commissioner twice. Been chairman hospital management board. I've been federal government agency parastatal, and I've done quite a lot. So I am not only riding on the wave, but I am a wave myself, I believe. And therefore, I believe that as we move on, the election will show, like we say in Labour Party, our trust is in God. And so we look forward to what Plateau people will do.
Indeed, we keep our fingers crossed to see how heavy that wave will be. A public health physician you are. Now you want to become governor of Plateau State. Why? Let me also add to the curriculum you've read out. You were also in the APC. When you say you've been in the corner, politically speaking, you were in the APC, and at that time you told journalists that the APC constitution and party manifesto are in line with what you believe in. So what changed, and why Labour Party?
Well, thank you very much. That's a very good question. And whenever you are on a political platform, one of the things that you look forward to is the implementation of the manifesto as it goes on. When it gets to the point where you believe that justice is not being administered the way it should, and the party guidelines for electing its leaders was flagrantly being abused, then it's time for you to ensure that if you indeed you have a passion for your state, then look for a platform that, as far as I'm concerned, addresses the issues that are issues of your concern. And I found that in the Labour Party, and that's why I moved. And I didn't just move alone. A good number of us moved. My member House of Assembly representing me in the House of Assembly also moved from the APC. A member in PDP representing Lantang North also moved to the Labour Party. So when people are looking for a change, they go for a change. And I think that was what happened. But let me also remind you that in 1999, 98, 99, we helped set up the PDP. So in terms of movement, I've been in the PDP up until 2015, when it was very clear that Plateau State people decided that injustice was being served. And so if you want to call any party an accidental party on the Plateau, it will be the APC.
All right. That's a party that you once, held the broom aloft. But what is the Plateau interest here? I ask this question because of the new phenomenon in Nigerian politics, the obedient movement, Is the Plateau interest here that of a Birom agenda, or that of a Tarok hegemony, or is it a Shendam patrimony? How do you underscore Plateau interest in this governorship election?
I think if you are going to make reference to the Plateau interest, Plateau agenda, the number one thing you are going to say is good governance. The number two thing you are going to say is inclusiveness, which is also part of good governance. Plateau people are averse to what I will call a dictatorship kind of, especially in transition. And in governance, they are looking for good governance. They are looking for inclusiveness. They are looking to see that the potentials that are there on the plateau, which are really, really, really vast, are harnessed for the common good. And I keep telling people whenever I go out to say that if I come and I don't represent that interest, please do not wait for me to finish the one term. Initiate impeachment proceedings so that I'll be taken out of the system. If you feel I've not, and if you can wait after my first term, exhibit or implement the Plateau a stick, which is a stick of justice on me. I think sometimes I say that I keep reflecting and asking what are the things that sometimes happen when people get into office of leadership, where service is supposed to be the watchword, but where conversely, after some time, you discover that interests become paramount, individual interests supersede the common good of the Plateau people. Once Plateau people start observing that their common good is less than the individuals in power good, they begin to put up resistance. And if you don't address it, it's time to go.
And just before we let you go, very quickly, what are your plans to improve the level of peace in Plateau that has been fraught with conflict? Also, how do you ensure that Plateau does not remain a civil servant state like is often referred to? What are your plans for the economy of the state?
Well, thank you very much. I think in terms of security, I'll say peace and security. Incidentally, that's the motto of the state, home of peace and tourism. Unfortunately, we have had our fair share of crisis that has made it extremely difficult for economic activities to go on. I think one of the things that has to be done in the first 100 days of the office is trying to reorganize the first responders in high-risk areas. Once you don't have a major thing that leads to several deaths, then you begin to build trust in people. And what do I mean by first responders? While we wait for the midterm and long-term issue of police decentralization, etc., a lot of governors will come and let you know that, well, I had this because I don't have power over the police, NSCDC, army, etc. Well, that may be true, but I think there is something that the governor can do. Apart from peace building, the other thing the governor can do is to ensure that first responders are recognized as such, are properly trained, and then they are properly equipped according to the laws of the land. And when I say properly recognized is that I have gone around communities on the plateau, and I think for the past couple of years, there's hardly anywhere that there's a major crisis that I have not visited. And what I've gone to do most of the time is listen to the people there. Who was the one that went first? 99% of the time, it's not the police that gets there first. It's not the army that gets there first. It's the local vigilante that gets there first. Well, who takes care of them? Nobody. Nobody, in the sense that they are said to be community volunteers. Well, if I have power over a security vote, for God's sake, why can't I ensure that their work is made easier? I make sure that their work is done in a semi-professional way while we wait for state police and while we wait for the other things that are long-term. Then peace building is a key aspect. I believe prevention. I'm a public health physician. Prevention is better than cure. We know the high-risk areas. We have teams that will ensure that, one, we are aggressive about peace building and inclusiveness. Lastly, on that, justice is very paramount. Once people don't get justice.
Indeed,
Patrick
Dakum. All right, this is why you want to sign him off.
Thank you so much. We wish you the very best. We wish you the best. Labour Party governorship candidate for Plateau State, Patrick Dakum there. Thank you for your time. We do appreciate it.